You may have heard the term polar vortex before, but what does that term actually mean? With the polar vortex sending an Arctic blast through our area next week, we have the information you need to know about what the polar vortex is and how it will affect our area. Meteorologist Christian Butler dives into the details.
Howdy, y'all. Let's dive right into the polar vortex coming Sunday into next week. Now, first, we'll address the myth of the polar vortex. It's not a storm. Rather, it's the circulation of cold air at the poles that can bring that colder weather into our area. The misconception stems from the popularization of the polar vortex in the 2010s, especially for the 2014 to 2015 winter. With that in mind, what is the polar vortex? To start, it always exists at the poles, both north and south. The northern hemisphere's polar vortex rotates counterclockwise, keeping the cold air near the poles. Why then is this vortex mistaken for the storm itself? This is because the vortex often dips down into Canada and the United States, causing those Arctic outbreaks and those storms associated with the polar vortex. And here is a diagram of a stable polar vortex. So we'll take it to the Earth now to see what that stable polar vortex looks like. The darker blue here is the tropospheric polar vortex, the one we often deal with, and the lighter blue is the stratospheric polar vortex. Not something we deal with nearly as much as it is higher in the atmosphere. Now, during the winter, especially when the jet stream weakens, we'll see it seep into Canada and North America, bringing that cold air into those areas as we will experience next week. But what will the Arctic outbreak next week bring us? While the vortex won't be directly over us, it will extend into our area for a little bit of time and will give us those cold temperatures and the colder wind chills from the outbreak. These temperatures will be spanning anywhere from the Rockies all the way to New England over the course of next week. As for any snow, we'll have a few chances over the next week or so for snow, including next Sunday and next Thursday as well. But with that information on the polar vortex, this is meteorologist Christian Butler for Newswatch.